I was just going to tell you about the kid that we had in our neighborhood, and every neighborhood has one, where there's a dude that has rich parents that buy him everything. And he bought the car from the badass dude in the neighborhood that had the 442 Olds, and this guy's parents bought it for him. And he was a dork. There's always a neighborhood dork that has rich parents that buy them everything they want. And when we were younger, it was dirt bikes, and he had the best stuff, all the gear and everything. And guys that would race him with half the bike would end up beating him. And it was a 68 W30, and he ends up cutting a hole through the hood and puts this, he called it the grump bump, from Grumpy Jenkins. He makes a scoop on it. Perfectly good car. It was in mint shape, chops a hole in the top, and makes a scoop out of sheet metal, painted it the same color as the car. So then we're going, why did you need to cut a scoop like that? He goes, oh, you haven't seen it. So he lifts the hood, which was a fiberglass hood, and he had made his own carb spacer out of, cut metal, and he had it like 3 inches added on. And we had this thermal quad carburetor, and he was always diddling around with it and shit. And he'd drive it like a wuss, where you go, just when it was going to get powerful, he'd let off and shift to the next gear. Then he's going, oh, I ended up shortening up the shifter. He did all these things to his car. And he'd always come back with this story of how he raced somebody and took him on. And we just started thinking that this thing is a piece of shit. It looked really nice, but with all these modifications that he was doing to it, and he put the stereo in it that he modified. Well, one day we ended up going out to the quarter-mile track that we had, and we told him, let's uncork the headers, and let's, put some bleach on the road, and he fried the tires and stuff. And to our amazement, with this Hertz Competition Plus shifter, he had the Oldsmobile had a manifold that was like it was a torquer manifold, a big X-shaped thing with this big spacer he had on the 950 thermal. And he ended up, really winding the hell out of it and dumped the clutch, and it did pull the wheels, and we were like, oh, what do you say? And the thing did really haul ass. And because previous to that, it really, he would always let off, but this time he finally gave it, and it finally went, and it had enough power to carry the front end on it. But every other time that he ever told a story, it was always bullshit. But if you would have seen this homemade sheet metal welded spacer that he made on it, you would have thought, this is not going to work. But it did. And it had to be like this high, like 3 inches at least, just so it was sticking up, out of the hood and getting the fresh air coming in the scoop.